Ladies and gentlemen, there comes a time in life when we must face a simple yet profound truth: not everyone who crosses our path is meant to stay. Some will walk beside us for a season, and some tragically will leave without us even understanding why. But we must accept this fact not as a mark of failure, but as an essential part of our journey. You see, love, true love, is not something to be demanded or coerced. It is a gift, a choice, a meeting of minds and hearts. And yet, too often we find ourselves clinging to those who are not ready or willing to offer it. We wait, we hope, we compromise. But the truth remains: love cannot be forced. It must be free, it must be given willingly, and it must be shared with those who are open to it. There is a certain dignity in letting go, a quiet, subtle strength that arises when we recognize the futility of holding on to what was never truly ours to possess. When you release those who are not ready to love you, you make room for those who will. You allow space for the kind of connection that doesn't come with hesitation, with doubts, or with the weight of unmet expectations. So I urge you, do not waste time chasing after shadows, hoping they will turn into something more. Do not bend yourself out of shape to fit someone else's idea of what you should be. Recognize the beauty in your own heart and honor your worth. Know that love will not only find you, it will embrace you. But only when you are ready to stop holding on to that which is not meant for you. Let go. And in that letting go, you will discover the freedom to embrace the love that is rightfully yours. The love that will meet you where you are, without conditions, without reservation. And when that love arrives, you will know that it was worth every moment of patience, of self-respect, of courage to walk away from what was never meant to be. Acceptance of transience. Life, as we know, is not static. Everything, everyone is in constant flux. The people who enter our lives do so with their own purpose, whether it be for a fleeting moment or a long, enduring presence. There is an undeniable beauty in this impermanence, though it can be difficult to accept. When someone walks into your life, they often bring with them a particular energy, a lesson, or a shared experience that is meant to serve a specific purpose, however long or short that purpose might be. Some people may stay with you through significant milestones, while others may only be present during times of change or challenge. They are not necessarily meant to remain, but their role is vital in shaping who you are during that period. Whether it's a friend who offers support during a difficult moment, a lover who helps you see aspects of yourself you'd never noticed, or even someone who teaches you a lesson through their absence or departure, each of these encounters is a part of the delicate rhythm of life. It's easy to cling to the idea of permanence, to desire stability and consistency in relationships, but this very desire can lead to disappointment. We may hold on to people, convinced that they belong in our lives forever, only to find that the natural course of things is pulling them away. They may grow, change, or simply find a different path that no longer intersects with ours. Accepting transience requires a level of grace. It asks you to understand that not all connections are meant to last for eternity, and that's perfectly fine. People come and go, and their brief presence in your life should be valued not for how long they stayed, but for what they contributed during their time with you. The challenge lies not in holding on, but in letting go, recognizing that each chapter has its own ending, and that is part of the process of growth. Love cannot be forced. True love is not a transaction, a game of power, or a commodity to be earned. It is a gift, a mutual offering that is born out of respect, understanding, and genuine connection. When love is forced, it loses its authenticity. It becomes tainted, distorted by expectation and need, rather than being freely given from the heart. You cannot will someone to love you, no matter how much you may desire it. The act of love must come naturally, freely, and with a sense of mutual recognition and acceptance. In many relationships, there can be a tendency to chase, to manipulate, or to try to mold the other person into an ideal that fits one's desires. People may try to shape their partners or make themselves fit into someone else's vision of what love should be. However, love that is based on these attempts is hollow and fragile, because it lacks the foundation of mutual respect and choice. A relationship where one person is continually pushing, seeking, or demanding affection will inevitably create imbalance and emotional strain. True love is not about forcing someone to change or meet your needs on your terms. It is about creating space for the other person to be their authentic self, with all their imperfections, quirks, and nuances. It is a recognition that love cannot be manipulated or controlled. It must flow freely between two individuals who are willing to give as much as they receive. It grows naturally over time, nurtured by trust, kindness, and the willingness to let go of control. Moreover, love cannot thrive in an environment of fear or insecurity. When we try to force love, we often bring out the worst in ourselves and the people we are trying to connect with. We become anxious, possessive, or desperate, and this energy blocks the natural flow of affection. True love requires patience, understanding, and the confidence to allow things to unfold without forcing the outcome. It is a delicate balance between effort and ease, between being present and letting go. When we learn to stop forcing love, we open ourselves up to the possibility of something more genuine and fulfilling. We allow love to find us not through manipulation or pressure, but through the organic process of two people coming together in a space of mutual desire and respect. In this space, love becomes a living, breathing entity, ever evolving, always growing, and free from the constraints of force or expectation. Letting go with dignity in the face of love. Perhaps one of the most difficult yet most empowering acts is recognizing when it's time to release someone who is not ready or willing to love you in the way you deserve. This is not an act of weakness or resignation. Rather, it is a conscious and courageous decision to honor your own worth and to stop expending emotional energy on something that does not serve you. It's a realization that clinging to someone who cannot reciprocate your feelings, intentions, or commitment only diminishes your own potential for growth and fulfillment. Letting go with dignity means accepting that love, no matter how much you may want it, cannot be forced. It's about recognizing the signs, the emotional distance, the hesitancy, the failure to meet you halfway, and choosing to move forward instead of holding on to something that may never come to fruition. It is not an act of giving up, but rather an act of self-preservation and self-respect. When you release someone, you are not abandoning them, you are choosing to stop sacrificing your own peace for the sake of an unbalanced connection. The strength in this decision lies in understanding that you are not defined by the approval or affection of others. You do not need to beg, plead, or prove your worth to anyone. Your value remains intact regardless of someone else's inability to see it. It is essential to recognize that just because someone may not be ready to love you does not reflect a deficiency in you. It simply means they are not the right person for you at this time. In this way, letting go becomes an act of self-love. For you are affirming that you deserve to be with someone who is fully capable of seeing, appreciating, and embracing you for who you truly are. Letting go with dignity is also about maintaining respect for the other person, even as you walk away. It's about releasing them without bitterness, anger, or regret. You acknowledge their own limitations and needs, understanding that their journey may be different from yours. It is an acceptance of their autonomy and your own, and in doing so, you preserve the emotional integrity of both individuals. When you let go with dignity, you clear the emotional space necessary for new experiences and healthier relationships to enter your life. You make room for connections that will honor you fully, and you open yourself to the love that is waiting for you, love that will arrive with clarity, willingness, and reciprocity. It's not an easy thing to do, but it is a profound act of self-awareness, emotional intelligence, and personal strength. Self-worth and respect. At the core of every healthy relationship lies a profound understanding of your own value and a commitment to preserving your self-respect. To know your worth means to recognize that you are deserving of love that is genuine, reciprocal, and wholehearted. It is the recognition that you, as an individual, are complete and whole, and that your needs and desires are worthy of being met by someone who truly sees you, appreciates you, and loves you for who you are. This understanding of your self-worth is not rooted in arrogance or inflated expectations. It is a quiet, confident awareness of your own strengths, qualities, and uniqueness. It comes from acknowledging your own emotional needs, desires, and boundaries, and then making the conscious decision not to compromise them for the sake of someone else's comfort or approval. It means valuing yourself enough to walk away from relationships that drain you, that require you to dim your light or sacrifice your true self in order to be loved. When you settle for love that is half-hearted or one-sided, you are essentially telling yourself that you are not worthy of more. You are diminishing your own value by accepting less than you deserve. Love should never feel like a struggle, a burden, or a constant negotiation. It should not be about giving more than you receive or trying to fill a void that can never be filled by someone who is not willing to give equally in return. True love is balanced. It is about two people meeting each other in the middle, offering support, affection, and commitment freely, without feeling the need to earn or beg for it. Self-respect is the natural companion to self-worth. When you understand your value, you will not allow yourself to be treated with anything less than kindness, care, and consideration. You will no longer tolerate relationships that undermine your sense of self or leave you questioning your importance. This is not about expecting perfection from others, but rather about demanding respect for your time, your emotions, and your needs. It is knowing that your emotional well-being is not something to be sacrificed for the sake of a relationship that is unbalanced or unhealthy. Having self-respect also means that you honor your own boundaries and are willing to communicate them clearly. It's about knowing when to say no to behaviors that don't align with your values or that hurt you. It is having the strength to let go of relationships that do not align with your own worth, even if they offer temporary comfort or familiarity. You trust that there is better for you relationships that will reflect your value and give you the love and respect you deserve. Understanding your self-worth and having self-respect is about standing firm in the belief that you are worthy of love that enriches your life, not diminishes it. It is about cultivating a sense of inner confidence that protects your heart and ensures that when love comes, it comes with honor, equality, and authenticity. You are not defined by the love others give you, you define the love you are willing to accept, based on the deep understanding of who you are and what you deserve. Space for the right love life has a curious way of filling the spaces we create. And when we let go of relationships that are not serving us, we open the door to new, healthier, and more fulfilling connections. To make space for the right love means acknowledging that love, when it's real and genuine, should come without reservation, hesitation, or emotional compromise. It should feel like a natural flow, not a forced effort or a struggle. By releasing relationships that are unbalanced or one-sided, you make room for love that is mutual, a love that is given freely and received equally. Oftentimes we hold on to the past, hoping that things will change or that love will eventually be realized. But in doing so, we create emotional clutter, trapping ourselves in cycles of unfulfilled desires and unmet needs. We may feel stuck in relationships that drain us, leave us questioning our worth, or simply don't provide the deep connection we long for. But by choosing to let go, we are not merely ending something, we are actively creating space for something far better, something that will reflect our own emotional investment, vulnerability, and desire for mutual growth. Making space for the right love means that you no longer settle for anything less than the love that honors you. It means releasing the notion of settling for someone who may be a good person, but doesn't meet you at the same emotional level or reciprocate the same depth of care. In doing so, you clear the emotional fog and make room for love that flows freely, one that doesn't need to be earned or negotiated. This love will feel effortless, not because it's without challenges, but because it comes with understanding, open communication, and a mutual desire to grow together. When you create this space, you shift your energy, you become more aligned with who you are, what you want, and what you deserve. You stop giving energy to relationships that require constant effort, and start drawing in those who can meet you halfway. You invite love that will not only match your energy, but also elevate you, inspiring you to be your best self, just as you do for them. It's important to understand that the right love is not just someone who meets your needs, it is someone who complements you in ways that allow you to be your authentic self. It's someone who respects your individuality, supports your growth, and shares in your values and vision for the future. When you make space for this kind of love, you begin to attract those who see and appreciate you for exactly who you are, without the need for pretense, change, or compromise. Moreover, this space is not just for a person, it's for the relationship itself. When both partners are open, honest, and equally committed to nurturing the bond, the relationship itself becomes a safe haven, a space for growth, trust, and deep emotional connection. It becomes a partnership where both individuals contribute their best selves to a shared journey, where love is given and received with grace, where both feel valued and respected, and where together you both become more than you were alone. Letting go and creating space for the right love is not about giving up, it is about making the conscious choice to allow something far better to take root. It's about trusting that the universe has something more aligned with your true desires waiting for you. And when that love enters your life, it will fill you with a sense of belonging, of mutuality, and a fulfillment that makes the process of letting go worthwhile. Freedom in release. There is a profound sense of liberation that comes with releasing someone who cannot or will not give you the love you deserve. Letting go is often seen as a loss, an ending, but in reality it is an act of immense freedom. It is the moment you choose to stop investing your energy, time, and emotional resources into a relationship that leaves you unfulfilled, unappreciated, or in constant emotional turmoil. By releasing someone who cannot meet you where you need to be, you make room for a healthier, more balanced connection, one that will nourish your soul and uplift you in ways that the previous one never could. Freedom in release is not about walking away with anger or resentment, but about finding peace in the knowledge that your emotional well-being should never be sacrificed for the sake of someone who is not capable of reciprocating your feelings. It's a realization that your worth does not depend on the love, attention, or validation of someone who isn't ready to give it to you fully. Instead, it lies in your ability to stand strong in the belief that you are deserving of love that is free from hesitation, doubt, or emotional manipulation. When you let go of someone who isn't able to love you the way you need, you free yourself from the emotional weight that comes with trying to change them, waiting for them to change, or enduring the pain of unfulfilled potential. You stop settling for love that is incomplete or conditional, and you allow yourself the freedom to accept love that is whole, unconditional, and nurturing. You let go of the emotional attachments that were tying you to a version of love that was more about hope than reality. And in doing so, you begin to break free from the patterns that kept you stuck. Releasing someone who cannot love you also means releasing the attachment to a future that will never materialize. You stop living in the what if or maybe someday and start living in the present, living with the clarity that the right love is out there, waiting for you. This release opens up a space for personal growth, where you can rediscover your own passions, reconnect with your own dreams, and focus on your own journey. You no longer need to carry the burden of someone else's emotional indecision or inability to meet you halfway. You become free to invest that energy in yourself, in your own happiness, and in the people who do see your worth and are ready to offer you the love you deserve. It's important to understand that freedom in release is also freedom from emotional entanglements. When you let go, you break free from the patterns of attachment that might have kept you stuck in unhealthy cycles. This is not just about leaving one person behind, it is about healing, growing, and evolving into the person you are meant to be. You are no longer weighed down by the emotional clutter of someone else's unresolved issues or inability to give love freely. Instead, you are liberated to open your heart to the possibility of a love that brings joy, fulfillment, and peace. In the end, the freedom that comes from release is not just about making space for someone new, it is about returning to yourself. It's about reclaiming your energy, your confidence, and your emotional clarity. When you release someone who cannot give you the love you deserve, you return to a state of balance and emotional integrity. You honor your own heart, trusting that the love that is right for you will come in its own time, with its own beauty, and without the burden of emotional baggage. Letting go is not an act of loss, it is a powerful, freeing choice to step into the fullness of the love you were always meant to receive. Courage in walking away from something that isn't working requires a kind of courage that transcends simple bravery. It is an act of profound self-awareness, emotional strength, and an understanding of the value of your own peace. When emotions are involved, the act of walking away can feel like one of the hardest decisions to make. It's often not just about ending a relationship, but about confronting the fear of uncertainty, of the unknown, and of possibly being alone. It's about choosing your own emotional well-being over the comfort of what might feel familiar, even when it is no longer serving you. The courage to walk away stems from the recognition that staying in a situation that isn't working, whether it's a relationship, a friendship, or any connection that drains your energy, can lead to long-term emotional damage. It takes strength to acknowledge that the person or situation you're holding on to is not capable of offering the love, respect, or fulfillment that you deserve. It requires a deep understanding of your own worth and the conviction that you are worthy of something better, something more aligned with who you are and what you need. When emotions are involved, the stakes feel higher. Love, attachment, and the hope for change can cloud your judgment, leading you to convince yourself that things will improve, that the person will change, or that the situation will eventually get better. But the truth is, we can't change other people, and we cannot force a relationship to evolve into something it's not meant to be. It takes courage to admit that despite your efforts, the reality is that this relationship, this connection has reached its limit. The willingness to accept this truth, no matter how painful, is a testament to your inner strength.